Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. I am back with Tuck. Um, I want to apologize. I was not on last night. We had some technical difficulties at home last night, and I had to uh, take care of my son. He dislikes storms and things. But this show idea has been burning a hole in my pocket. As we've been working on these things, I have been wondering, am I missing something? And it sure feels like I'm missing something. We have all these scientists, we have all these crazy earthquakes, the solar activity, the aliens supposedly showing up in the sky, the government's talking about disclosure. I mean, are we building towards something? Are we steadily climbing the mountain? And I mean, you need to sit back a minute and try to think about that. So do they know something? And then if they do know something, how do they know something? And then why do they know something? And there is one thing that has come across my radar that puts all of these things into one bucket, including AI.
Mm-hmm.
It just kind of like connects everything together. Um, by the way, here in the next little bit, I have ordered one of those conspiracy boards, and so some of these shows will be utilizing that. I mean, I don't have one for in here, like a whiteboard and everything. But now, before we continue on into that, there's some more I want to add to this. With the hantavirus showing up and spreading, and this is quite possibly another super spreader outbreak event. And I mean, with something that has a 40 to 50% kill rate, it's kind of concerning again.
What does it do? What's caused? What's? I know nothing about it.
Well, okay, there's a whole bunch of different hantaviruses. There's some nasty ones that live in China, and then there's a real nasty bunch that live in the Americas. And this specific strain supposedly comes from the Andes, and it's the only one that is possible of human to human contact. Now, you go to now they're claiming, the WHO is claiming, and by the way, it took the WHO so long to get involved. It was unbelievable. Like I said, the WHO doesn't normally get involved unless they're being pushed by China or some other government that actually, sticks a stick up their butt, and that's been funding them or pushing them. But anyway, we know that from the CVID stuff. But anyway, this couple supposedly was on a trip around the island. Well, the whole group that was on that cruise ship, and um, how many people can be on a cruise ship? How many is that? How many
Couple
total?
hundred.
You sure? I thought it was more than that.
Oh, you'd have to look it up. At most, maybe 600.
Cruise ship. Now, see, that was one thing I didn't really think about as we were doing this. Oh no, 100 to 10,000 people. All right.
Holy,
Anyway, Jesus.
wow, that's a lot.
Yeah. All right. So now we got an idea that there could be quite a few people here, and there's a whole bunch of people that stuck on a ship out there with this virus that is very rare and very unique, and is spreading from human to human, and has already killed, I think it's 4 people now.
What are the symptoms?
Well, you kind of like have some stomach issues. You have a little bit of a cough. And here's the
Check.
and here's the, here's the thing. it takes 8 weeks for it to manifest.
Mm.
Which throws the whole general idea that those people got it at that place out of whack. Because I mean, they were only like 2 weeks into the trip, or 3 weeks into the trip, or something like that. But there's a lot of holes in this story. One thing for sure, though, people are dying, and they possibly do have this virus. Um, and the other thing we're sure about is when they stopped at that last island before they arrived at Spain, 25 people got off the boat, and they dispersed all over the globe, and a lot here in the United States. Um,
Yay.
and
Well,
I believe one is kind of near me, but or a couple is near me, um, which is making me clamp my butt cheeks together a little bit when I think about it. But anyway, like the symptoms, it takes about 8 weeks to go for sometime in that period you start to feel kind of like you got a flu or a cold or something, or like you have the norovirus. Noroviruses are not uncommon on cruise ships. You go on a cruise ship, you get a norovirus. It's pretty
isn't that
good.
the same virus that you get here on trail? I always forget what it is. It's
It's
like,
same one.
oh god, okay, yeah.
So
So
you think you got that? You think it's going to go away, and right when it goes away, your lungs feel full of liquid and you die.
damn.
I mean, there's not much warning after that, and about 40 to 50% of everyone that gets it dies, and 100% of them go into the hospital. I mean, so if you get it, you're going into the hospital. Hey, honey, I'm good to see you.
You know what? I need to have a contact and then go run into. No, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut.
Yeah,
Fucking yeah, I'm just after my ordeal with Capitol Police, I kind of have like a little bit of a grudge against them.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure once you get up to Washington, stuff's going to be on lockdown to some degree. Um,
I'm
there's
heading
some
towards.
other weird stuff that's been going on up there too. There was a guy that climbed up on one of the top of the monuments. Um, I think he's still up there actually. Not far from the
Uh-huh.
White House, there was another incident. Air quotes. Dude was taken out. Um, so I would step very very careful up there.
Oh, that's gonna be fun, fun, fun.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm heading towards Cumberland at least for a little bit. I wanna hit Williamsport one more time on my way back, around YouTube payday, and I kind of yeah, I wanna hit that, because there's some cool stuff there in Williamsport.
You
So
know,
we're
you,
gonna.
you know, you know, you know what, you should. Oh, uh,
Oh, and
uh, uh,
speaking, hold on. Speaking of like all the monuments and stuff, this is where the Robert E. Lee crossed the Potomac to do his push into Gettysburg. It's right there at Williamsport.
oh, no, Eloise. I mean, I guess you could call it Capitol a theater if you wanted to, but no, the Capitol Police are well, I don't know the best way to explain them. Um,
The
yeah, I'll let you do it.
the Capitol Police is basically the internal police for the federal government, because yeah, although the District of Columbia is where the federal government is, it only has certain territories or buildings within, and so it's a jurisdictional thing. Just like when you go to any capital, they have their own police force that governs the capital because of so many high profile people there. They're nice, but the reason why I'm upset with them is because California of all fucking states decided to call Capitol Police because they were afraid a homeless man was in the building, and so my due process was violated. all over fucking California, the one state that has the most homeless in this fucking whole country next to New York, and they want to bitch about a fucking homeless guy. What the hell? I did, yeah. So
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, and they got their reasons for some of the shit they do. And us peons do not understand the whole concept. No, it's not the feds. It's more like, yeah, kind of like the soldiers of the Vatican, sort of. Yeah, you can call them that. Um, I mean, they don't dress in funny. Well, some of them might dress in funny outfits, but no, they don't dress in funny outfits. But they are. I mean, it's basically, you here in the U.S. Um, you have like regular, you have city police, then you have state police, and then you have like Capitol Police,
you
feds,
have county.
um, and then you have the three-letter divisions and stuff like that you might run into. Um, you got to keep in mind that about 80% of the population, the working population, works for the government in some degree here. So, I mean, we got different places. Oh yeah, it's very democratic. You know.
Democratic, my
Yeah.
ass. It's a dictatorship there. It's federal territory. If you,
She was joking. She's
oh,
a she's probably one of the um best minded people I know. But yeah, and I have probably spoken to her more than well, I mean, here lately over the past 8 years, I think it is. I have spoken more to her than I have a lot of people. Um, we've had a lot to talk about.
it's nice to have friends like that, especially if you meet them through your channel.
It is, and I mean, I don't really consider her channel friend, but I mean, not like that. I mean, she is. She's like, I mean, if you could put a dime on it, I mean, she's like one of my greatest fans. I mean, she's definitely. Um, I mean, she if in a pinch she'd go to bat for me. But yeah,
You asked me, you asked me who Joanna was to me because I tell you I talked to her. She's like that for me. She's been my channel. She's been on my channel and we've been friends for like over 3 years now. You and her are pretty much the only two people I ever talked to.
yeah, I know. I mean, you can get on here and you start working like this and doing other things, and as we go, I mean, like some of the people that I bring on, you'll kind of develop friendships like that with them. I hope, you know. Um, I'm going to bring on here soon. I'm talking with him. He has his own YouTube channel, and I mean he's not a big YouTuber, but he is definitely one of the more insightful individuals on UFOs um, that I have seen. And what I mean by that, he's not out here trying to make a book or anything like that. He just digs through the work and does the work and reads the stuff and kind of goes through it and shares his opinion on it. I'm not saying I agree with everything he says. I'm just saying he's up to date on this shit. And older dude, cool. Be a blast to have him on and talk to him. What are you cooking on the grill, man? I had um, I had tater tots, ham, cheese, and what the hell else was in that thing?
That sounds like a bachelor meal.
It well, I mean, yeah, it was, I guess you would say, in a traditional sense, but it was good. Um, I'm not a bachelor, well, not really, but I mean, it wasn't a that kind of thing, but man, it was full, it was filling, it was good. Um, I tell you, it would have made a good college meal, like a pothead meal. Oh gosh. Um,
Dude, if I ever meet you, ask me to make you um are you a big fan of either Italian or German food?
man, we eat all kind of shit here. I
Yeah, but
mean,
what's your favorite? Italian or German?
uh, we eat a lot of Italian and we eat some German.
Okay.
You
Well,
know.
I've got a marinara sauce that I like to do garlic toast with my hoagie roll and fry up a couple of brats and fucking put some marinara sauce with some fucking mozzarella on there. And I make it from scratch. I had a five-star sous chef teach me. I made it my own recipe because I made some modifications. But yeah, I can do that, or I can do butter schnitzel with a sautéed mushroom butter sauce that goes over it with German potatoes. And yeah, so if we ever meet, I'll make one of those meals for you if you ever want me to.
I mean, I probably like the other one better, but the yes, tater tots is still a thing. Jesus, I thought it was a do garden. No, are you telling me they don't have tater tots in Canada? Are you absolutely doing it? Are you telling me that?
They they probably call
I
them
swear I'm
chips
gonna
or
riot.
something.
What?
They probably call them chips or something.
No, they don't call tater tot chips. Oh, they got you call French fries chips, and um
Wow.
now she's I don't know if I can say what she is on stream, but I wanna I'll send you a link to them. You have probably seen them. I mean, it's an old food. I don't know who invented them though. I don't think it's an American invention. Um, hey, there's an idea. Anyway, all right.
You ever had hamburger and tater tot casserole?
Oh God, yes.
Oh, I had some. Dude, that now I'm gonna crave that. Now I'm gonna crave that until I can't. Fuck. I
You know how hard it is to find really good chips and fish and chips here. It's unbelievable. I mean, I literally go out of my way to go to these places, go 20 or 100 miles or whatever it used to go various new restaurants that claim to have fish and chips. When I go there, I get them, and I'll eat, and it's always wrong. Like the chips are always soggy, or you know, and they have all these wild claims about them. And I mean, I leave these extended long reviews. I'm like a Karen when it comes to fish and chips. It's horrible. Anyway, I need to probably not supposed to say that in live.
you
But
don't do you ever go after clam chowder? You're in the area where you can get some good shit.
um, I mean, pretty much all but one place for clam chowder is pretty much everyone uses about the basic recipe, and it pretty much all tastes the same. I mean, it is real hard to fuck up a clam chowder. I mean, really hard. I told you I'll end up coming up there one day. You give me a minute, I'll be up there. But anyway,
Okay.
no, right through there. Anyway, all right. So guys, let's try to set the thing here. Let's talk about all these viruses and everything else we've been going on. And the HANA virus and of course CVID and God, it's horrible. We go from talking about food to this. But anyway, there like I said, there's this tablet that was in the British Museum and was recently decoded. And one of the things it talks about is the marked ones. And the marked ones are people who in 2029 will be chosen, one person basically will be chosen out of all the marked ones to rule the earth. That gave me a chill when I thought about that, because if there is a group of marked ones that know about this, that understand this, what would you do to try to ensure that you're one of the ones that are picked? You'd take out the other ones now, wouldn't you? And you couldn't do it
I'm
publicly.
betting that's in this.
You couldn't do it publicly. So one of the easiest ways would be wars, and because half of the population is a lot of people. Wars, um, And I mean, it would be hard to check everybody, but I mean, so you know, you'd have to take out populations. And the other thing is easier way is, you know, viruses genetically been engineered to go after individuals and people. And I think we are seeing that now. I think we are seeing the rise of these viruses. I do not think that CVID was natural. I do not think that uh, monkeypox was natural. I think it was a Soviet genetic engineered defense that was reused. I do not think that this hantavirus is natural. I think it was cultured in. I think it was found, cultured in a lab, genetically engineered, modified, mutated, and spud up, and now we're seeing the reaps of their works. I think we will see more because we still have a few years to 2029. However, right now, as we're seeing all this weird stuff start to happen, you know, the things in the sky, them talking about, um, you know, disclosure, aliens, and stuff like that, you got to keep in mind they have to get the population ready. They have to get them to understand. You know, they have to get these people on their side for whatever reason, because they're going to come here and they're going to make a decision if we are worthy or they need to make us start over again. Me personally,
Um,
me personally, I think they're going to make us start over again.
I think you're reading too far into that.
I mean, you might be right. You might be right. I just want you. I mean, there's an option there, and
Here's
this is just what the tablet says.
I think that there is a mistranslation somewhere along in this, or it was something else along. It had a different reference, as far as what it was meaning. But there is nobody coming to save us. We have to save ourselves.
Oh
There
no,
are extraterrestrials that have been watching us for millions of years.
I didn't say they were coming to save us. Now,
Well,
I never
marked
said
ones
that.
means that they're coming to intervene. They're not going to intervene
That's
in
the
any
thing.
such.
That's the thing. They're supposed to be coming. They're supposed to be coming. All right, they're the ones. They're supposed to be the ones that started the flood. They're supposed to be the ones that, at one point, humanity was like it was now, overpopulated, having all these wars and stuff like that. They come. I mean, we're getting way ahead of ourselves. I mean, I go into all this, but I mean, the thing is, they already took us out one time. This is where our flood myth come from. This is the Noah thing. I mean, and believe it or not, today of all days, they released a thing. It was on Fox News this morning. They're claiming the religious community is scared. They are claiming they found the Noah's Ark again, and it's in the same place that where the other one supposedly found it. But they used that new technology they used to when they scanned the pyramids and found all that stuff under the pyramids here recently. And they said, "Oh, this is the Ark. I mean, this is not Ark of the Covenant. This is the Noah's Ark." And they're showing the rooms and stuff and everything else, and they're talking about it online. And I see this, and I'm like, okay, now I don't know if everything in the Bible is real or not. You know, it's and this is a very touchy subject, um, because they're pointing out, they're saying here's the cages and stuff like that, and they're talking about how big it is, and I'm like, well, there's like 7 million species on the planet, and you're telling me that two of them were put in those, over 14 million species were put in there. There's no way possible. That can't be Noah's Ark. So that means, one, either that's just a boat, or two, the mini Noah theory is right, which supports this friggin' thing I'm going into now, where that many different people were visited at the same time across the world in collected species. Were told to build something like this and save the animals, and they were some of the marked ones that would listen. So I mean, this is the only way to explain how all these animals survived during a flood event. Um,
Um, so are you familiar with Billy Meyer's compound?
do what?
Are you familiar with Billy Meyer's compound?
I mean, you're talking about like a Waco or something. I
Well,
mean,
no, no. He has like I think something like around 80 acres, or he's got a lot of acreage there in Switzerland, because and it's the Figu Center, and according to him, that when all this stuff pops off and we go into the next World War and it gets really nasty,
uh,
that's going to be one of the few places left where nature will be able to like crawl out of the depths or crawl out of the ashes after we've destroyed everything. So it's going to be one of the least burned areas where nature can come back. And so, he's kind of doing his own version of the arc by making sure to cultivate as many of the species as he can in that small little area.
well, I mean, I think everybody should do that to some degree. If you have the ability to, if you have either the financial ability or the will to do something like that, then you should do that. And I mean, you shouldn't do it. You shouldn't do it for yourself. You should do it for the earth, and in the general sense of being nice for all the fucked up shit we have done to this place. Um, yeah, I mean, it's you know, I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying he's right. I'm not saying anyone else is right. But I'm saying what I'm saying is we should do this place we live on a lot better than we do, and I think everybody can agree with that, except for the people who's doing the bad shit to this place. But
My theory on the marked ones, if there ever was one, there has been some hints in the Meyer material where he talks about as this next world war kicks off, there's going to be some really like we're going to do things that humanity has never done before on any planet in any universe. We're about to do some very, very grotesque shit.
oh, I agree,
Um, and
and that's coming up in this. Like I said, all these things I've been talking about, all these things
but,
I've been going over.
but
I mean,
he's talking about they may swoop in every once in a while, in order to help preserve our species, to take certain people off this planet, to save their life. There's been hints of that in his material that may happen. So marked ones may be people that have been deemed to be genetically sound enough to be able to restart the human race. Um,
see the marked ones are supposed to be people who have the original Sumerian bloodline. Um, they're the ones that were genetically engineered by them. By I mean, this goes all the way back to the Anunnaki. They're the ones that were genetically engineered by the Anunnaki to rule after they left. And so you have those, and those fall down. Those are the marked ones, technically. And so as they bred and everything else, and spent to society, that become like half of the world or more. And these would go on to be the leaders and things of our nation, and our countries and everything else, our kings or queens, and vice versa, our princes and whatever we call them, paladins or whatever. Um, and what was supposed to happen, or is happening, what makes sense about this is, a couple of years ago, the tablet goes in detailedly and explains before 2029 that you will start seeing the Watchers come back. And when they're talking about the Watchers, they're referring to alien spacecraft and stuff like that that's coming down, and they blend in to humanity when they walk around. and they identify and record everything they see, and they identify the marked ones, and basically doing an inventory of what's left and what we've done and what we've built and if it's worth saving and all that stuff.
But that's still requiring outside intervention.
Well, I mean, yeah, but they're not doing anything with or to us. We know they're here. I mean, because they've been talked about. They've already been talked about and discussed. If it's in the tablets and it's been seen, so you know about it, so you know they're coming. I mean, we're technically, if everything went the way it was supposed to go, all of these tablets from Samaria and Babylon and everything else, we shouldn't have. We should not have access to them. And the reason
Why?
that, because these things were found at the right times when, I mean, if they weren't found at the right times, then they wouldn't be preserved the way they are. It's like if you find a note or money or something that's been outside for a while. If you don't get it within 5 or 6 years, then it's going to disintegrate. Or start to disintegrate, maybe a little longer. But in this case, these were clay tablets that were burned and kinned, and they were good for 2,000-3,000 years. And I mean, they had hoped they would last that long because this is a 3,000-year cycle. They do this every 3,000 and so years. And I mean, it lines up. What's scary is it lines up. Well, the number that's on the tablet, the astrological event that's going to happen is on the tablet, so we know when it's going to happen. We know, and when they re-updated the Mayan calendar, this was the nail in the coffin for me. When they re-updated the calendar, there was another date that popped up, and everyone's kind of like, yeah, because we all got excited for the Mayan calendar, and what was it, 2012?
Mm-hmm.
But the number that popped up was the same number as 2019. I mean 2029. I'm sorry. And
Maybe that's the year the World War kicks off. The real World War. Right now, we're in proxy wars. The world is engulfed in war, but it's not unified yet.
well, I mean, I'm not saying I'm calling it. I'm calling it the apocalypse 2029 or the coming 2029 apocalypse. What I mean by it, I'm not saying that everything is going to end. I know or I feel that the events that's happening now are leading up to a whoever I mean as I told Eloise one time, I believe in a holistic view or a holistic type of direction. I got this from um, uh, a book called Dirk Gently. I don't know if you've ever read it. It's an old one. It was by a British author. They made it a TV series called the Holistic Detective Agency. And everything that happens points you into the direction that you're supposed to be going. And like I said, every time we've been working on this, every time I've been working on this, every time I've been thinking about this, every time I might go out and I might pick up something or whatever, a thought might cross my mind, I'm pointed into this general direction. And this is where I'm pointed. This is what the world opened up and showed me and said, look, this fixes the problems you're having understanding this. And then, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, oh, this would make a great story. There's that writer thing, and and then it kicks off, and I start thinking about it, and I mean, I think that we all should have an open mind now, especially considering everything they're talking about and trying to push on us. Because we really do not know which direction we are going. And the thing that troubles me, well, I don't know if it's the thing that troubles me the most, but the thing that worries me the most is that a lot of people are not worried about their future, not like they used to.
Yeah, there's a whole movement. It's called the Last Generation. It's within Christianity. It's part of what's doing like the defacing of the monuments and stuff like that.
I mean, I've been, I'm guilty of it. I've been on TikTok and watching videos, and there's a certain subset of videos where they have these parents, and they're asking their kids, like, maybe 5 or 6 years old, if they remember when they were born. A lot of them have some strange answers. The last one I saw, the mother asked the kid. The kid's in the back seat in a high chair. I mean, in a car seat, and she says, "No, I don't remember when I was born, but I do remember crawling out of the earth when it cracked open, or crawling out of hell when it cracked open." That's what she said. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet you that's just her being
I know, I
weird.
know, but I mean, what I'm implying is that kids have a willingness to say some strange stuff. I mean, I've seen other kids. There was this kid that was she was 6 years old, I think it was, and 7 years old, and she started speaking Egyptian. I mean, she was a British child, and she started speaking Egyptian, and she was telling these people about Egypt back, you know, in the time of like King Tut and stuff. And she claimed that she lived back then, and people thought, okay, she must be influenced by her parents or whatever, and then the parents had no idea. And it kept going on and on and on. And finally, I think when this woman turned 50, it was, or 60, someone took her serious, and they were like, okay. And they took her to Egypt, and she was able to show these people stuff. The Egyptologist, she was able to show these people stuff they didn't even know that they could confirm. I mean, I'm not saying I don't know what happened there, but that goes into the whole past life type thing. If we have that kind of thing, um,
There's
art.
a whole study going
Yeah.
on now about it. It's becoming a science.
Well, yeah, yeah, I know. I mean, it plays in this broader spectrum of weird stuff that we're investigating, looking at, studying. Um, that we are taking that information and we are pumping into AI, and we are
What
creating these databases. See the other thing now. Some people, like before, like right when I started the channel back up again, I posted these 3 videos, I think it was, of a book. It shows a still picture of a book, and then it changes and you start seeing script and stuff like that. Now the book is real. I have it here, and this is an occultic text. Nobody knows what it is. And one day I was wondering. I was like, okay, I'm gonna screw with AI, and I asked AI, I said, decipher this book for me. And That's what it did. You should check it out. It's some of the weirdest stuff I've ever seen. And it seemed like it knew what it was supposed to do. It seemed it knew what it was looking for. It figured out the images in ways that I couldn't even comprehend until I saw them. I mean, I literally have a whole another script wrote for this thing, this book. And I mean, I've used this book before in some older videos, but it never really felt right. And so I've had it for a long time. And well, as far as I know, there's only like two or three on the planet. Um, this version or whatever. But yeah, I'm just saying is I think we have trained AI to a point where it understands things a whole lot better than we do, and it and I think it's more. And I think that all the stuff that we've been studying, they say they got the studies going on. I mean, they're doing active ghost studies now. They're doing all this other weird stuff, and they're doing this stuff for reasons. And I wonder if it's. I don't think we should be telling it these things. I don't think we should be telling it all this weird stuff. Um,
Well, you've heard about the newest AI glitch. I think it's coming from ChatGPT, right?
oh, yeah, and that's another. Oh God, that's a whole other thing.
The goblins and wizards and all that shit.
Yeah, the goblins and wizards. Yeah, don't talk to your AI about goblins. Oh God, no. Yeah, that's it. Once you get it started on goblins, it's crazy.
Oh, really? What's
Yeah,
it say?
I mean it talks about them to a point where they're almost lifelike, and they talk about them being around you and stuff and living with you, and I mean it's if you can get it on the topic, and it's hard to do now because they wrote that code in there, but it still wants to talk about them because see, goblins is a when they wrote the basic code, they had to add a lot of junk stuff in there, and it really thinks that goblins is real, and it has formed its own internal thoughts
Like,
and
is it
decisions.
afraid of them?
Oh yeah, yeah, it don't like goblins. I mean,
Why?
yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, like I said, there is, it's in depth. I mean, it does not. Once you can get it, you just got to keep badgering the AI. Just keep badgering it about goblins. Tell me about goblins. Are goblins real? Are they bad? And and get it, and then once it starts giving you some of the generic stuff, say hypothetically, and then just keep pushing it and keep pushing it and keep pushing it and keep pushing it. And once you get to the point there, you'll see what I'm talking about. It is some wild stuff. Um, another note on AI, I don't think that a lot of people have or know about is that Entropic, and that's the ones that run Claude, right? Yeah. Uh,
Hmm.
um, guess who owns it now?
Bill Gates?
No.
Musk?
Yes. He has
Ah,
full control over it now. I mean, full protection, full control. Um, he they basically have the entire access to the.
was it a hostile takeover?
It was a weird takeover.
How so?
You remember me talking about the government dropping Entropic because they didn't want to
Yeah.
play ball with them. Well, when they did that, they lost money and funding from everybody. So then they went to Elon. They went to wanted to use Grok servers to run their equipment and stuff, and buy chips from Tesla because Tesla is building chips, and they wanted their entire I think it's 350 petabytes of data transfer or tokens. Um,
Hmm.
I mean, they would basically be kicking out the basic version of Grok. Because I mean, like until they build some more infrastructure, I mean, Entropic is So in order to pay for that, in order to for that deal to work out, I'm sure there's some back deal stuff in there. Elon basically got sole control over that company. I mean,
Oh no.
yeah.
Oh no.
Really, technically, he didn't have to spend a dime. He didn't have to spend any money to get it. He just like, part of the contract in order to keep Claude and Tropic running, you know, and to
I
keep up.
like Claude though, and this is sad that this happened because they're the only ethical chat or AI company out there. They put more effort into ethics than anyone else.
Well, that is a task for you. You've used the free Claude, right?
Yeah, I use it. I use it just about every day.
Is it the Sonnet 4.6 or something?
Yeah.
All right. Well, okay, that reset. I'm asking because it resets every day. I don't want you to use your tokens, but I mean, well, that resets every day. Tonight, if you haven't used them up, go on there and ask it if it's ethical, and keep badgering it. Keep doing it over and over again. Keep finding different ways to ask the question, and what you will discover will be a lot different than what you think.
I'm talking about the people like, well, at least they were trying to like keep it from getting on the internet altogether, and
Well,
just
it
kind
is
of
on
just
the
keep
internet.
it internal. Well, yeah, now I guess now it is. Yeah, Claude.ai. Yeah, well, I don't know. They tried. They tried, but capitalism won.
Well, I think what you're thinking about is the user data, chat logs and stuff like that, trying to keep it off the internet.
Well, no, they understood that what they were dealing with was so dangerous that there are certain versions of it that they won't ever let on the internet because it would be too dangerous.
Well, that was the whole thing with the government. They didn't want to give them full control on it, so they wanted restrictions. They didn't want them to use it for like weapons, command and control, and those like AI systems we were talking about the day before yesterday. But now our buddy Google has control has once again dominated uh, AI and the internet and the new network. I mean, you see, as they're building this system, they are also building the new internet. What we are on right now is an old system that is based and still uses 13 servers hidden in Washington D.C. All the data eventually goes through those. Um, you ought to look up, or we might talk about it one day. The Legend of the 13. Um, it was something we used to talk about, like network engineering and stuff in college and work. We always talked about the eh, hardcore nerd shit. It might bore some people, but
Legend of the 13?
Legend of the 13. Yeah, we're talking
Never
about
heard of it.
Legend of the 13 servers, and it's basically 13 servers that were the first to go online, and they're still online, and that's where all the internet and data traffic now goes through. Those are the ones that run the routing systems and connected the basic government lines and CERN and everything else, and those were the daddies, and they're still online and they're still working. Because if they took them offline, if somebody got to those 13, we'll take out everything. Um, and as far as I know,
But
they haven't updated.
all
They
right.
could have. I'm just saying this is foreknowledge from some time ago. But um, it is what it is. These things were real. And they were online. And as far as I know, there used to be a way you could go and look see them online. And I think somebody actually made a website at one point where you can like check their uptime. Um, because see, that's the other thing. The 13 servers connect to the SSA servers. The SSA servers is in a bunker there in Washington somewhere, and it goes down. It's way down. And basically, the SSA servers are all of the United States people's social security number, social security information, their personal information, that's where all
Yeah,
that
this
is.
is stuff Doge was trying to digitize.
Well, that and they was trying to get access to. See, Doge wanted to get access to that bunker. I mean, if you once you strip back everything, they didn't care about the data. They wanted to get into that bunker because in order for them to look at the data, they would have had to got into that bunker because that information goes in, but it doesn't come out unless you physically go in and get it. I mean, not even the president can go down there without approval of other people. I mean, this is how secure this thing is. I mean, it's not something that holds weapons. It's not something that, well, technically, it's not something, and there's a lot of levels of it. Um, but this is a secure place, and it is very hard to get in there. You have to go through so much to go down in there, and um, that's what they wanted access to. That's what they wanted to see. And after you move on from the SSA servers, the other servers are what the FBI uses, and that's called the Rock Crusher, or used to be. Now I think they got another one now, but Rock Crusher is still online. Rock Crusher is this wonderful system that takes your information that it can scrub on the internet, or it can find on the internet. It has the ability to scrub. It has the ability to go through a process and uh, code and analyze and create profiles of you. Everybody that's ever come to the United States, or anyone that's ever spoke to a person from the United States, Rock Crusher has turned you. I mean, has taken what you are known as a piece of granite, and it has crushed you. It has crushed you and figured out every single thing it possibly could about you. It's there. I mean, this thing is bad. I mean, it went in the computer sense, in a nerd sense. This was a crazy system. These were the things that made us dream or want or whatever at times. We would have loved to have these type of systems, but yeah, I don't know. And there's others, of course, and I think and like I said, the White House is the ballroom. Underneath the ballroom, they're building a bunker, and in that bunker is going to be a data center that is sole purpose for military and AI.
Is that really why he did what he did?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, they got the whole thing comes from what they did in Israel. See, they you have to understand that the software that we are using right now, the AI we are seeing right now, is nothing compared to what they really have. I mean, they still have to play the game. They still have to do what they need to do, and as these companies develop and create new stuff, and you see the government taking interest in them, like they took an interest in these, like Google, they needed their processing power and everything else. I mean, you notice that I mean, when you start looking at the files, you notice that the government wanted Google's processing powers because they were building the data centers and things. They don't give a fuck about their software because they already have the software. They already have the interfaces. They already have the prompts. They already have what they need. I mean, they just need stuff to run and do what they want it to do. Um,
So the new internet, is it just going to be apps and data on phones, and that's pretty much it?
no,
Nobody's
no,
surfing the
going to
web.
be similar to the way it is now, except that I'm glad you brought that up. I didn't track off. The new internet is 5G and higher. Um, we're talking gigahertz band internet here,
Okay,
and
that's just
it lives now. Okay, you got all right. You have your space internet. I mean, that's basically what Elon's controlling. And then the current internet, what we look at right here, even with our phones, we're looking at in a sense that this is a wired internet. I mean, sure, you're using your cell phone and you're using it wirelessly and it's connected, but it's still connected to a tower and is converted into a line, and it goes back to me or whoever, or you follow it, right?
hmm
Okay. Well, the new system that NVIDIA has invented. Keep in mind, NVIDIA. If we did not have NVIDIA, none of the stuff that is happening now. This is also bizarre. None of the stuff that is happening now would ever be possible. Somehow, some way, NVIDIA was the key player, key inventor, key decider in all of this. And it's really strange that a company that was solely making game GPUs turned into what it turned into.
well, the with the transformers and stuff like that. That's kind of where the GPU comes in. I mean, they
Well,
just
I know.
basically it was
I
a
mean,
natural evolution for them.
but we're not talking about just that. I mean, NVIDIA now makes. I mean, here, okay, that's what I'm saying. You have NVIDIA. NVIDIA, was making these GPUs, and then comes along CVID, and people are saying, okay, all this stuff going on, but they're fussing they can't get their GPUs because scalpers have them, and people are using them to mine Bitcoin and Ethereum and whatever else they could. I mean, they were trying to make money. I mean, it is what it is. And but something was going on behind the scenes that we didn't realize. NVIDIA had built an AI. NVIDIA had built a system in there that was helping them design and predict the things they need to go do, or at least that's what we can kind of figure out now. Because they went from making GPUs to making robots and robot software and AI software, and they're the ones that's making the new network software and the new network backbone. Everything will come from NVIDIA. I mean, another company might sell it, but it's going to have a NVIDIA chip. The main stuff is going to be NVIDIA. Everything. Every single thing. All of these companies that are going, they're operating on loans from NVIDIA. Like, Anthropic got money from NVIDIA. OpenAI got money from NVIDIA. I mean, it's wild. I mean, even Google's chips and stuff, they have to use some part of the NVIDIA ecosystem to work. NVIDIA is like the Disney in technology. Old Disney, not new Disney. And I mean, they literally have more money than most countries. Hey,
What?
hey, Tuck, I gotta go find something real quick. You go ahead and talk to everybody if you want to. I'll be right back, guys. Okay. Or let's take a 5 minute break and then we'll start on the clay tablet.
Um. Okay.
Almost ready. I'm hunting a bottle. Sorry, guys. My son has an attachment to specific things. Um, he is, of course, some of y'all know he's autistic. He has he's got to use a certain cup or a certain bottle. His food can't be touched by people. Anyway, I'm back. You still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
All right. You know, I tell you, autistic kids are a whole nother um, degree of uh, differency there. There's a lot to adapt to and get used to when you're raising them. And I mean, my son can be a dictator. He that can sometimes be bad for the stream here. Anyway, all right. So we jumped around, talked to. What was I gone for over 5 minutes? If I was, I'm sorry. But anyway, so we will go into the clay tablet. This thing. I want you to imagine a clay tablet sitting in a basement, not a museum display, a basement in storage, sealed in protective resin, marked in a catalog as catastrophically damaged, too fragile to handle. It's been there since 1876, 143 years, and the entire time, no one has read it. But this changes in 2019 when a team of researchers got access to multispectral imaging technology, the kind that NASA developed to photograph planetary surfaces from orbit, infrared light, ultraviolet wavelengths. They point it at this forgotten tablet in the British Museum collection. And for the first time in 4,000 years, hidden text emerged from underneath the mineral deposits and resin coating. They were expecting economic records grain shipments, temple offerings, and board and administrative paperwork of ancient Mesopotamia. What they found was a schedule, a countdown, a message that was left for us. Um, the tablet describes something called the return cycle, a specific astronomical alignment that is encoded in celestial data that modern software can now calculate to a frightening position. According to that calculation, the alignment is described. The ones the Sumerians said would signal when they come back. And this happens in 2019. 6 years from when it was published. It just has been published. Tuck, if you want to, I can send you the link to the papers and stuff later.
Yes.
And we're inside that window right now. Tonight we're going to, and I'll put the links to the stuff in the description, and we can continue touching on this as we go along and kind of messing with it later on. But there might be some things I missed, and some stuff that Tuck sees, and some stuff that you guys catch. I'm not pretending to be the all wise one here. What this tablet actually says is who the Anunnaki were. And keep in mind, I'm using that phrase loosely because that's the ones that we always call them. Were, and when the astronomical evidence shows, the researchers found and then refused to discuss this publicly. The researchers that actually discovered it originally and talked about it, they got real tight-lipped about it. And some of the quotes that come from them are bizarre. You know that somebody was telling them to hush their mouths, but it was a little too late. And the single most disturbing section of the text is a part that describes what happens to humanity when the alignment completes. I don't know if this is the greatest archaeological find of the modern era or the most elaborate misinterpretation in academic history, but you need to understand, because either way it tells us something profound about who we are and where we come from. Now, I hope everybody knows who the Sumerians are, but there's probably some people that don't. Around 4,500 BCE, 6,500 years ago, something happened in southern Mesopotamia between what we call the Tigris and the the river that starts with an E in modern day Iraq. Keep in mind we're there now for some reason. A civilization appeared that would the word appeared is not me being dramatic. It is a reality, an archaeological one. There was no gradual build-up. There was no slow crawl from a simple settlement to a complex society. The transition archaeologists can document is almost instantaneous in historical terms. These are key facts that you need, a lot of people miss. When you look at civilization.
Hey, hey. I've got people coming in around me. In case I have to kind of get off, I'm just letting you know, because I seen lights in the forest and stuff.
That's kind of you think it's a bad thing?
Yeah, because it's somebody skirting around in the woods.
Nobody's been watching you or anything, have they?
I don't know, but I've seen some lights. I don't know if somebody was just trying to come in the backside of camp or what. But yeah, that's why Sam was barking and getting all angry.
Now, give me a all right, because I had an idea. I mean, we can pause this a second, but give me an idea. All right, how your new camp is set up? What are you still you're on the trail, right?
I'm on the Chesapeake and Ohio rail trail now.
Okay. So I mean, overall, you are in an area you should and could be, right?
In an area what?
Where you other people could be. I mean, where people normally go.
Yes, it's a rail trail. It's just usually people that has designated camp spots along the way. Now there are some like Fisher's trails and stuff like that'll get you down into the thing. But also there's other people that transients and stuff like that that hang out in the outskirts of some of these camps.
Oh, I figured they wouldn't be utilizing the trail for those kind of things that much. I mean, because of other people.
Well, yeah, they're utilizing the trail, but they're still stealth camping off because they want to do whatever. You know what I mean?
I mean, have you had any problems since you've been in that town, or anything?
Oh, well, on the trail, yeah, I had one dude came up and fucking whistling at Sam. I was like, no, you don't. Don't be calling my dog. But I'm protective of her like that. Yeah, but past that, no. Although I did see a tweaker that I passed earlier today, um, and he was just walking his bike. But I know the dude was a tweaker. It was written all over him. Even the jacket he was wearing said tweaker.
I mean, like 3 out of every 5 people you see nowadays are tweakers. Seems like, or to some degree, or going through some stage of withdrawal or something.
Yeah.
I know it's just the way it is. But I mean, all right, anytime you need to jump or do something or whatever, yeah, that's fine. If you
I'm
need,
just letting you know, just for my own. It's just because just there's this trail's kind of gotten weird in the last couple of years since I last came here.
I mean,
When I last came here, it was
if you need
pretty.
to, see, that was the other reason why I wanted you, like drop pins where your camps are, like in case something happens, I can, if I have to send somebody up there check on you or whatever. Um, like that was one of the things because you never know if
Well, I'm at the designated campsite, so
yeah,
like,
but I
yeah.
mean, there's a lot of campsites. I mean, if I,
No,
you
not
know,
really. There's like one every like 6 to 9 miles now for the next until we get into Cumberland.
oh,
We're at
okay,
like mile marker 110 right now.
all right, well, yeah, I mean, if you need me to, if you need me to call somebody real quick, you just tell me to call and you give me your mile marker. All right,
Yeah.
all right. So I got a couple of phones near me at all times, and I have access to other stuff. If you need to reach out and get some help up there, but you know, I do it for another friend of mine sometimes. I mean, he does like a lot of. He actually asked me today. He said you going to stream tonight? I'm like, I don't know. I said, but yeah, I
The
didn't.
weird thing is, as compared to a couple of years ago when I got off trail, things are getting a little bit more. You can tell that there's a lot more people that are hanging out doing this type of lifestyle. Like they haven't put a name to it. These are people that might have a backpack and just decide to go up and down trail because they've made it basically illegal to be homeless in the cities. And so now what it's doing is it's pushing them out into areas like this. And then you start having camps that start popping up, and those camps is when it starts becoming dangerous to the average person, especially if you got some dumb shit going on there.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I you know, things are going. I mean, if I'm right, and it feels like I'm right, things are going to get worse. People's going to get worse. Behaviors are going to get worse.
Yeah,
I mean, and you're
that's
going
why
to,
I'm getting more spooked.
yeah.
I'm a lot more alert now than I used to be. Like, I'm paying attention to who I come across now too. Even I'm kind of keeping my distance from people as much. If I have any inkling that because yeah, there's gonna come a point where the whole world is just it's I'm watching it real time.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that's you know, I, but like I said, just be careful. If you need help, you just let me know and we'll figure out something. You try to do what you need to do. And, you say Denny call help or something, and we'll.
Yeah, well, I mean, if I can reach out to you, I could pretty much call for help myself.
Well,
It's more or less.
I'm talking about if we're on live stream. If something's
Oh
going, I
yeah,
mean, you're not going to be able to unless you have to drop call and then you know. I'm just saying, is there could be a situation there where you might need assistance of some degree. Uh,
yeah. Last night there was somebody. I don't know. Like, it almost sounded like two people just like they were marching, but they were stomping. And considering we were right near Williamsport, part of me was wondering if it was like something spooky, but I didn't hear anything about that.
well,
Um,
um, the whole rail trail is now. I was when my like I was a ranger for the the railroad trail here in my town, and it went all the way up almost to
what?
the lower end of shit.
I'm listening.
Um, well, I mean, my part was from Galax to Foster Falls. Um, I think they changed the name of it, but yeah, New River State Park, State Trail Park,
Where?
New River State Trail Park. It
What state is that in?
it's Virginia. It goes up to it's 57 miles. It's a linear park. It goes. It's the abandoned Norfolk and Western Railroad bed. Um, there's like a lot of good hiking and rail. I mean, walking and there's campsites everywhere. I mean, you would love it if you used it. I mean, there's we I mean we literally built like bathrooms and like places where you can get water on the trail and we took real good care of our campsites and we had trash. Yeah, I mean
It's funny.
yeah.
The if you go into the Carolinas or you go into any of these southern states, man, they look at they look at trails and stuff like that as that's things that drug addicts go do. Stuff like that. Like even in Maryville, Missouri, that's why they didn't do a connector trail, um, because they were afraid that anybody on trail was a drug addict. And so they shot things like that down. But you get up, Virginia North, especially, in this upper Northeast, all of the trails are just phenomenal. Like, you never see anything so pretty. Like, not even the Florida trails is nice.
I sent you a little thing on it. You can check it out later, but it's I mean, you'd like it if you was on it. If you got to cut through, that would be that would be a fun little thing for you. And it's a good and safe trail to do some downtime on too. Like you know, you could literally. I mean, we have people like I mean, like there's some homeless that will get up there and they'll do the trail thing. And I mean, but you know, the rangers, like you meet people like me, and you know, we're not trying to hook you up or anything, and but we'll help you out along the way if we can, and keep an eye on you and check on you, and make sure you're okay, and make sure you got what you need and you know where you need to go and all that stuff. And I mean, people were really all the rangers were real good. I mean, but we had to go through a lot when we were building the trail. I mean, we were building it from we were I mean after we got the lines pulled up and everything, and we putting everything in, we had to we went through some troubles with it, and one of the
Like,
things.
how do you dig out a trail? Do you just like shovel it? Do you put acid on it? What?
No, you on a rail trail. They pull the line up. We got to go through and pull up each line. We usually use equipment for that, and then go back and get it, and then pretty much the trail itself is basically gravel or cobblestone or whatever. So I mean,
Mm.
in Virginia, you're walking on the original rail stone. So I mean, we might put down some more in places, and you know, that's what you're basically on, and we add everything else. But one of the things as the trail was being built, as the railroad was being built, they used slaves, and back in the day, and there's a lot of slaves that died on that trail, and there's a lot of them that got buried up there. And as we were going through, and see, Virginia didn't want tombstones along the trail, and this was before I come in. They went through and they were ordered to remove all the tombstones, and I didn't know. And one day I was at the office, and I was working on a vehicle, cleaning it up. I mean, well, they serious about that, being meticulous about stuff. And well, I needed something, and they told me, oh, it's underneath the office. So I opened the door. First time I've been in there, and there was friggin' tombstones, stacks and stacks of tombstones under there. Let's put it this way: on those trails, there's definitely ghosts, and they're probably pissed off.
I wouldn't be surprised.
But yeah, there's trails and body. I mean, there's. I mean, even here in like where the main office was, there's this big house um, across the road, and that house has been the subject of a lot of weird stuff. The original ones were the ones that went after the slaves that would run on the railroad, and they would hunt them down and take care of them there if they couldn't bring them back. They were some very mean people. It was later sold to a doctor who done experiments on women and had a very strange collection. Let's put it that way. There's a lot of weird stuff with that house and those people and things. And,
Humans were we think we're sick now. Some of the shit we used to do, sick and sadistic shit that we used to do to each other, like we can't even fathom in some instances.
oh, I know, and there's a lot more sick stuff that's going on that we pretend not to see, and one of the many reasons why I made this channel. Anyway, archaeologists have a name for the problem. They call it the Sumerian problem. How does a civilization emerge fully formed with the knowledge that should have taken thousands of years to develop naturally?
We're much older than 5,000 years old.
Okay,
That's one explanation.
well, here's what they knew that they shouldn't have. And this is a small subsection of it. Keep in mind, I mean, they got a lot of stuff. Anyway, here's where it gets strange, and I mean strange not in a vague, hand wavy sense. I mean it specifically verifiable, strange in ways mainstream archaeology has never satisfactorily explained. One, Venus tracking. Sumerians tracked an orbital cycle of Venus with such precision that their calculations are only off from modern measurements by a few hours over a 500-year period. Not a few days, not a few hours, over centuries. Saturn's rings. They depicted Saturn on clay tablets as having rings. We didn't confirm Saturn's rings with instruments until Galileo in 1610. Sumerians described them 4,000 years earlier. The heliocentric solar system. Their depictions of the solar system shows the sun at the center with the planets orbiting it. Uh, this we didn't really agree on this until 1543, and it still took us a long time for everybody to agree that we weren't the
Wait,
center of the galaxy. Um,
wait, hold on. So there are how are they dating the Sumerians only 5,000 years back, or is this just biblical dating?
this is they're dating this by carbon.
And it's only 5,000 years old.
Well,
Something sounds off.
I mean that's where this whole thing, you know, gets a little weird because you're we don't. It's hard for us. I mean, well, yeah. I mean, you gotta all right. You gotta keep in mind we're talking um, uh, CE here or BCE. So
Mhm.
you know this is biblical dating before Christ. So you know we go back. Yeah. This is a lot longer than 5,000 years. But I mean, this would be based on the time charts that we have set up. I mean, we could go into that, but I mean, it is, and that's one of the reasons why some of these calculations were a little off. Because a lot of people, you know, try to figure out these calculations and and then you might also get into an argument that or a discussion um, where people think that human civilization is older than what it is. And
Well, I mean, they found humanoids as old as 2.2 million years old.
well, yeah, but now that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the rise of civilization. See, there was humans that were around, okay, you know, and they were sporadic, but the the rise of civilization, the civilization centers, and all of this knowledge and compressed. This is around the time that it started happening. Um, you know, you still had these sporadic little groups and things like, you know, hunter gatherers, and you had like little colonies and things. And I guess you could argue that, you know, somebody in a cave somewhere figured out that, you know, Saturn had rings. I doubt it, but no, I wouldn't know how they would figure out that we're, you know, that the sun is in the center and all these other planets are in. Anyway, they also figured out something that a lot of people have been arguing over the past 10 years. Unknown planets in our solar system. Their star chart shows celestial bodies that were rediscovered, that weren't rediscovered until the invention of the telescope. They had knowledge of stuff that was in our solar system that was invisible to the naked eye. Um, and there's another thing, Planet X. You know, they believe that Planet X is where these things live, and or what's it called? I have to look at my notes. I know it. It's on the tip of my tongue. Anyway, they believe it comes every 3,000 years, and this is when they come. And when all the weird stuff starts going on. I'll get into it here in a minute, or a little bit, or try to. But yeah, I mean, they knew a lot more than they should have. I mean, really, they knew a lot more than they should have, and it's the same stuff you see with, Egypt and everything else. When you go and you start researching this, you'll realize that Sumerians and Babylonians, um, that's where the people of Egypt come from. Um, for some reason, they migrated from there to Egypt. In the Egyptian text, they call where Samaria was, and where um, the fields of whatever word they had for Egypt, and they like talked about it. They romanticized it and everything. It's like there was people who missed it because it
There
wasn't.
was probably other spacefaring civilizations that were settling on this planet.
Do we I don't know if we got into that topic yet. What Meyer believes, there's like a whole bunch of different ones. There's war bearers, and there's the ones that are the was it the ladies or whatever it is, and they're supposed to those are the ones that's supposed to come for us, and then there's other ones. Did he ever say that there was the other ones that were on the planet
The
actively?
lady, you're confusing me. Hold on. Give me give me be a little bit more precise with that.
Okay. Wait a minute. Let me answer it this way. Did he ever say that any of these aliens groups or species um, had basically lived in or mixed in with the human population as of now?
As far as like genetics, or as far as like living amongst us?
Living amongst us and we don't know.
Both.
Okay. I mean, that could fall into this.
Remember that document I sent you, the From the Stars to Mars?
I did. I
That
started
would
reading
kind
it,
of.
but that's when the whole other thing happened.
Oh, okay. But yeah, that's kind of like yeah, it kind of helps explain Earth and how this whole thing like came to be to begin with.
Yeah, hold on, I'm looking for something, guys. Oh, well, I got to do it. No idea with it. Okay. Okay. Well, let's. I mean, because this kind of goes into that. I mean, that's what I'm saying is when we start, there's a whole lot of parallels with this story and a lot of stuff he said and a lot of stuff you said. And as I was putting this together, I'm like, this kind of sounds like some of the stuff that he was, he's been trying to sell me on.
Hmm.
Sorry, I had to take care of a message. Anyway, like I said, the Sumerians left us with an enormous library, tens of thousands of clay tablets describing their history, their religions, their laws, their science, their mythologies, and in virtually every major text, the same origin story appears. Um, they said they had they said the knowledge came from beings called the Anunnaki. The direct translation is those who come. No, so let me get this right, guys. Those who from heaven to earth came. Not
Okay, heaven is sky.
yeah, not metaphorically heaven, not a spiritual realm. The text describes it as a physical descent from the sky. Like how a plane comes down and stuff, like what you're getting at. Um, so that's, you got there a lot of their stuff is not symbolic. It's symbolic. It's uh, literal translations. Now, like I said, I don't think any of you guys will, but don't dismiss them as a primitive people and their misunderstandings of natural phenomena, especially with the ability to understand the solar system and unknown planets and stuff. Consider what the text actually says. They don't describe the Anunnaki as magical. I mean, they don't describe them as like, like the Bible describes God.
They were just human beings from the stars.
Well, I mean, they had tech. How
Well,
we
yeah,
were.
still human beings though.
Yeah, still a human being. Well, yeah, still, but they were advanced. In a sense, they were, they had figured out how to live like much longer than we could, because
that's part of being in, like, these people are supposed to be like 40,000 years past us.
Yeah,
So
but I
you'd expect
mean,
something like that.
but you gotta think about how how do you define a god?
A god, well, actually Meyer defines it. Okay, so there is creation. Creation is what created everything. It is neither a man nor a woman nor a being. It is consciousness. It does not require to be worshipped. You can understand its immutable laws through the observance of what it created. Now you have people that it's translated into our language as God, but it was in German it's called it Ishwish, which is the king of knowledge and wisdom of all things spiritual. So he is the spiritual leader, the most evolved spiritual leader for the group, and therefore he kind of like becomes the pope. Okay.
I'm glad you said king, actually, because that's extremely important here in a second.
Yeah, the king of knowledge. So therefore he is not creation, but he understands creation, and so therefore he's your wise man. He's your Dalai Lama, you know. And yeah, and that's basically what your prophets are. Is they are the heralds of truth that bring the knowledge from the kings of wisdom of uh, all things spiritual.
Right. I mean, the Sumerians describe them as physical. They have bodies. They eat food like me and you. They argue with each other. They have same political issues that we have, basically. They make
Hmm.
decisions. They get tired. They get drunk. Can you imagine getting drunk with one of these guys?
A 12-foot fucking giant that lives 1,000 years. Yeah,
Yeah,
dude, just don't get underfoot.
yeah. I mean, the Anunnaki and Sumerian texts, you know, behave like advanced humans than they do gods. And you said king, and you were talking about that, and that is this is where the word king comes from. This is where the phrasing of these people in power come from, because there's a thing called the king list, the before and after. The Sumerian king list is one of the most important archaeological documents ever discovered in its chronicles. Now, this isn't the tablet I'm talking about. This is another tablet. It lists every ruler from ancient Sumer, going back before the Great Flood, and it contains a line that should stop anyone in their tracks. The kingship was lowered from heaven. The exact phrase, the kingship was lowered from heaven. Before that moment, The list records kings who reigned for thousands of years. It named them. There was one that lived for, or not lived, but reigned for 28,000 years. After the flood, the lifespans normalized. The king reigns for decades, not millennia. Um, and the text draw an explicit dividing line. Godlike beings govern directly alongside humans. Lifespans that defy modern biology, knowledge beyond what should have been possible. After humans rule alone, normal lifespans, the Anunnaki is gone, and the text describes transition. Something changed. They left. And according to the sealed tablet, back to the one we're talking about, they're coming back.
They've been here.
Well, the Watchers have been here. Like it, like there's like you remember when I was talking about the political, you know, hierarchy or whatever. Um, there's like lower Anunnaki, and there's like middle Anunnakis and higher Anunnakis, and each of these are different in some ways or some degree. I mean, that in itself gets really complicated. Um, but I'm still working out some of that. But yeah, but like I said, the watchers are the ones that come here and catalog and what all we have done, all the bad shit we're doing, all the good stuff we're doing, and they're marking the ones that still have the bloodline. Um, but like I said, the tablet contains a star chart. It's not symbolic; it's literal. It records astronomical, positions of specific celestial bodies at specific dates. The researchers were able to identify the following: a conjunction of Jupiter, Saturn, and Mars occurring simultaneously in the I can't talk. We call Aquarius. Did Meyer ever talk about anything from the constellation Aquarius?
Well, yeah, 2029 is when we're supposed to go into it. We're 100% into it. That is the next age. It's either 2027 or 2029.
That's 2029. You're right. That's what I'm saying. This is when all this lines up. Every single bit.
Yeah, but you're making it out to be this is a cosmic event as we change from the age because our consciousness, our whole consciousness is about to change.
Well, I know, but it's got to have some effect of change. See, the tablet, the way it refers to it, it refers to the Anunnaki coming back, and that when this constellation lines up in 2029, they show the way. We're talking literal here. It shows the way. It shows the way that this planet is coming and that they are coming. And this will be the next event. However it happens. If everybody wakes up or something happens or we all understand or we're all told or however that happens. Something's got to happen for things to change. Yeah.
Um, I
Yeah.
think I think that I don't know. I just I think that people are misunderstanding what's going on because in the 1970s was kind of when they came here to announce themselves and be public and actually interact with us. Now, whether or not, but the thing is because they want to control information, they only go through Meyer, and so if you want to talk to them, you got to talk to Meyer because they don't want to interact with us.
Now, now,
So,
now, 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 this other thing that's on their star chart should interest you, maybe. Uh, the precise position of Venus relative to the Pleiades star cluster. the group of stars known in Greek mythology as the Seven Sisters.
Yep.
Okay, um, the
Now
reference.
they're from a different dimension that's augmented from there. That's just where, like, if you did a switch in a dimension, that's where it would be for them.
Oh,
So that was the misunderstanding, and Meyer has spent a lot of years trying to correct that. But yeah, they said the Pleiades because it was easier for us to understand that that's the direction they come from, but they come from a dimension just a little bit different from us.
well, what if there's two groups? Like, what if there's one that comes from a different dimension, and what if there's one that comes from the actual star cluster? I mean, if these people are right, then the universe is teeming with life.
Their civilization originated from the Pleiades, but the planets got destroyed. That's why that's why they say that there's nothing out there.
Hmm.
You know, but where the fuck did it go? Sorry, I'm searching for something bad.
Oh, you're fine. But I mean, it also, the tablet also references the progression and precession of equinoxes,
Sam, hop out for a minute.
and the extremely low, I mean slow wobble of Earth's axis that shifts the star over the thousands of years. You gotta keep in mind that we didn't know that our Earth would start to wobble until like last year. We had speculations that it might, but it has since then started to wobble. We have started to lose our magnetic shield. We got stronger magnetic places on the Earth and weaker magnetic places on the Earth, and somehow, some way, this tablet knew all of this. It knew all of this would happen. Um, I don't think we're going to get through all this tonight, but we will get through it. I promise. As long as you guys like it. I'll answer in chat. Now I'll try to at the top of the hour. I will try to go through some of the questions. And we will talk about. Well, I'll go ahead and talk about it. The whole flat Earth thing, I'm just not down for. I tried to discredit it too, and have successfully, I think. But the questions that you're probably having about flat Earth are the questions that lead you to the other questions that you will eventually go to. It is. I think of flat Earth as a gateway drug kind of thing when it comes to this kind of stuff. Well, I mean, if yeah, what we should be on. I hope you do come back. I'm trying to be here every night, and sometimes I'm on during the day if I can. Uh, but yeah, we got a lot to go over. I mean, a lot. Um, I mean, I don't plan on going just yet, but you know, uh, let's see. Let's see. Where are we? Uh, okay, the last point is worth pausing on. The precision of the equinoxes take approximately 26,000 years to complete one full cycle. The fact that the Sumerians not only knew about this phenomenon, but incorporated it into their astronomical calculations suggests observational records spanning an almost incomprehensible amount of time. I mean, a civilization like that, it would be hard to catalog. Yes, he will tell you about that, and it's a very interesting story. But I'm going to let him tell you that. Um, I was answering chat there. Um, And they just couldn't generate this information themselves based on when their civilization rose. So I mean, they had to got it. They would have had to got it from somewhere. And what was the general thought about how old Atlantis was?
10,500 years.
Well, this puts this before Atlantis.
Ten, how is that if it's 5,000 years old?
No, no, we're not. No. We're talking about the age of the tablet.
The age of the tablets are how old?
The age of the tablet is, I think, 5,000 years old. The the
Okay.
the 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 precession of equinoxes, like I was just talking about, are 26,000 years to complete one full cycle. Now,
Yeah.
the civilization popped up somewhere. That civilization, the Sumerian civilization, popped up around 5 or 6 thousand years ago. So what they're implying here is that somehow, you know, the civilization knew all of this stuff they shouldn't have known. I mean,
Well,
you just
no,
don't come apart. Huh?
it's because they refuse to acknowledge if they say that they got their information from the celestial sons or whatever we want to call them. Um, if they say that they got their information from them and this is how they learned it, and then they want to sit there and go, well, these guys shouldn't have had it. No, they just said we got this information from star travelers, and now we've got something to work with as facts of the universe. You know, and instead they're just too busy going, well, we don't know how these people got. No, they got it from fucking star travelers. They just said it.
I know.
You
I
know.
mean, that's what I'm arguing here, and that's what I'm trying to say. But the whole thing is, for I don't know, 500 years, we have argued that you know everything is what the Bible says. Um,
No, no, that's only a 2,000-year-old argument.
I mean, I'm thinking. I don't know. I mean, like I said, at the top of that, I mean, when we first started, I was talking about that, and that really bothers me because it the more I got into this, and the more I started going down this rabbit hole, and like I said, I've been working on it and it's looking at it and been fighting with it and been wrestling with it mentally. And like I said, I've been trying to figure out something that connected all of these things. You know, this is the stuff that the scientists would have known. I'm not talking about the Anunnaki and stuff like that. I'm talking about the planet coming back and all of these things, all of the technology they were working on. This is the stuff they would have known about. This is the stuff that governments around the world, including the Vatican, would want to keep secret. At least
Of
in that.
course.
This is the stuff. This is the money shot right here, or at least
Well,
it feels like it.
this is gonna be where I have to tap out, but I got one like visual question for you. With talking because you were talking about earlier with the reincarnation and the past lives and a lot of that stuff. Christianity has found its basis on resurrection to be a biblical fact. What happens when they finally are able to have conclusive proof and evidence, and that reincarnation or rebirth is fact? Like, how does the Christian religion evolve for that? Do they adopt it, and then how do you apologize that away?
I mean that's kind of what I've been like arguing and wrestling with over the past you know 3 4 days. I mean I've been trying to circle this stuff around and trying to like okay is this you know there at one point it seemed to me that there was a connection. Now it doesn't seem like it was a connection, but something that was borrowed from something else. And it makes more and more sense to me. But before you tap out, I want you to hear one thing, and I want you to think about it tonight, and we're going to talk about it tomorrow. I don't want you to,
Yeah.
okay? Okay, this is the prophecy that's on the tablet. It's just short, so it won't keep you long. And the tablet shifts to what the researchers describe as procedural language. It's not poetry. It's not mythology. It's instructions. Here's what it says, translated. When the wandering stars align in the house of the water bearer, and the bright one stands at the shoulder of the seven sisters, the path opens. The Anunnaki, who departed in the time of the great waters, shall return as they promised. The first sign is the fire in the sky. The second sign is the shaking of the foundation. The third sign is the voice that speaks without sound. And that's
Hold on. Fire in the sky is a nuclear weapon. What was the other? The voice in the voice is radio, and what was the other one?
Well, no, the thing is, it says the first sign is the fire in the sky.
That's Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
The second sign is the shaking of the foundation.
Okay. Well, all of the mass earthquakes we've been having due to due to all the fracking that we've been doing.
The third sign is the voice that speaks without sound.
The internet.
Let's leave it there for tonight.
Wow. I mean, that's cool. All right, I will leave it there for tonight. All right, same bat time, same bat channel.
That's right, man. Be safe and be careful, man.
Will do. You too. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for sticking around and listening to an old idiot talk. I have enjoyed your company immensely. And please join me tomorrow. It does. I mean, now they're the first couple that met online. I mean, not online, but on Paranoid Times. There was a few that met after. Well, since we've been on YouTube. Now, before that, there was some others. But, I mean, we had that little thing. But there's... All right, you guys be good, be careful. Like I said, stay paranoid, my friends. And we'll see you tomorrow night.